What's up, family? This is Brother Sharif, and this is another episode of the family meeting. The topic of this family meeting is the Freedom Georgia Initiative, which is a project that purchased nearly 100 acres of land in Wilkinson County, Georgia, outside of Toomsboro. Now, today we're speaking with the organization's president and vice president, Miss Scott and Miss Renee Walters. Stay tuned, take notes, and let me know if you have any questions. Now we have both of you here. This is another episode of the family meeting. What we do in Brother Sharif's family meetings is we look at issues, but we also look at opportunities to progress our communities. And someone let me know about you all because they felt that what you were doing actually aligns with my vision for a healthy Black America. And I was so excited to read about it, especially being someone who studied Soul City, North Carolina, and a few other places around the country who have attempted to do this, but run into some obstacles. And I was telling Miss Walters that you all are so close to where I am physically in Houston County. And so I'm familiar with the Toomsboro story that went out. I didn't take it seriously. I have a barber friend who's actually from Toomsboro, and I was like, why would they try to sell this whole town? So I never took it seriously, but to see what's coming of what you're doing, I'm so interested in sharing that with my folks. So if we could begin, if we could have both of you give us an introduction of yourselves and what you do, please.
Yes. So I'm Ashley Scott. I am a realtor and the vice president of the Freedom Georgia Initiative. I pretty much am a visionary and the person who's helped with Renee's help to make this thing happen. I've been a marketer in my past experiences and background. I have been a social media marketer before going into real estate. So I'm just a girl from Philly here in Stonecrest, Georgia, who happens to know a little bit about real estate and a lot about, group organizing and a little bit about business as a serial entrepreneur as well.
Good old Stonecrest. I'm a Dekalb County guy, Stone Mountain and Dekalb.
Okay.
One of your political all-stars was at the RNC this week. Did you get the chance to see Brother Jones?
I did see Brother Jones, but I didn't watch the RNC.
Okay.
I didn't take.
You didn't miss anything. Thank you, Miss Walters.
Yes, thank you. I am originally from Chicago. I've been in Atlanta about 14, 15 years. I live in the Stone Mountain area. So I'm right here with you. I just recently graduated school for neuromuscular therapy, but I am currently a stay-at-home mom. I also run a special needs support group for parents of color.
Awesome, and congratulations on finishing school. Where were you in school? Was it GG?
I went to Gwinnett College. It's neuromuscular therapy. It's a medical form of massage.
Okay. Cool. And I'm sure you were inspired by that, by your personal experience with the situation with the addict. Would you be interested in sharing that with us because that contributes to who you are?
Absolutely. September 2013, I fell out of an attic 15 feet. I was instantly paralyzed from my waist down. I had to be airlifted to Atlanta Medical Hospital where I underwent 10 hours of surgery on my spinal cord. I was told the chances of walking was very slim, but I just couldn't let that just stop me. I had to do everything in my power to get up and walk again. I had 2 children at the time that was 11 and 6 years old, and I just couldn't imagine them having to take care of me or their lives being altered because I was disabled. So I got a chance to go into one of the best hospitals, the Shepherd Center Rehabilitation Center in Buckhead. And there I had to learn how to do everything all over again, like crawl, walk, drive, take care of my household, just pretty much everything all over again.
Wow, you you're a blessed woman. You're still here with us, and you're still on track to recover. Now, both of you are wives and mothers, right?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Do both of you have sons?
Yes.
Yes.
So both of you have black sons and husbands. So
Yes.
what's been going on in the community as far as the police issues and even the health issues caused by COVID-19 have to be taxing for you? I know I'm nervous every day, and I don't have any kids that I know of. I'm nervous for my brother, my father, and all of the men in my family. So how has life in this current time been affecting you two?
Man, go ahead, Renee.
I would say with me, it's just a lot. My husband works in the healthcare, like he works in the healthcare field, so he's exposed to COVID patients all the time, and so that's kind of alarming there, but not as alarming as when he leaves out the door to go to work and go to run an errand or just anywhere. Like I have a sense of anxiety that washes over me every time he leaves the house, or every time he'll call me back to back and I can't pick up. Like I don't know in my mind like what's going on because I'm not with him. And that was just becoming a bit unbearable. Like every day I try not to watch the news, but since all of everything that's been going on, it's like you can't escape it. And so it's just been sort of depressing. And I'm usually right along with my friend Ashley. We usually have solutions, like we're fixers. Any problems that we have is like, okay, it's only a problem for like 2 minutes and then it's not a problem anymore. But this just wasn't going anywhere. And I'll let Ashley finish the story.
Yeah, because the reality is, after seeing the murder of Ma Aubrey right here in Brunswick, Georgia, vigilante lynching on the streets, followed by the murder of George Floyd, and let's not forget the litany of other Black people that have come long before those moments. So it became distressing, to say the least, and I was distraught. I was in a place where I was dealing with symptoms of depression and didn't understand why. Couldn't really figure it out, because I am somebody who is so solution oriented, very motivated, very driven sister. And I didn't want to get out of bed some days, and I just was really feeling like, where's this coming from? And of course, you know, the pandemic on top of the protests, there was a lot coming at Black folks in general, all in this one wave. And taking this time to speak with a Black therapist, a Black psychologist, it actually helped me drastically getting that help. And that's something that we need to really recognize in our community, that we can't struggle alone all the time, that we can't keep those emotions and that hurt and that anger on the inside, because it definitely creates irritation, depression. You can't even deal with your kids the way you want to deal with them because you've got this pent up thing on the inside that you're not dealing with. So I took the time, and being the responsible individual that I am, to go get help. And it helped a lot because I realized we were dealing with racial trauma, and racial trauma should have its own spectrum in the DSM-4, but it doesn't, because the people who are in power don't look at Black problems as disease or as disorders that need to be dealt with in the medical field, in the mental field. They just ignore us, and we can't continue to be ignored. We can't continue to ignore our own problems. So I was, you know, really dealing with the fact that I was replaying this image of my head of these other brothers, because it made me realize that at any given moment, that could have been my husband, that could have been my baby. And we are mothers, we're wives, we want to protect our kin. And to feel like you can't, to feel disempowered, to feel like dehumanized and disrespected. And I live in Atlanta. I came here because it was a Black utopia. But to keep seeing, you know, the disrespect and disregard for Black dignity and human lives, it just took a toll on me. And so I saw therapy. I sought a therapist, and it helped so tremendously, to the point that as we were having conversations about what can I do, how do I come out of this? Like she sent some articles to me that really made us realize racial trauma looks like and shows up as, because even though we might not have known George Floyd ourselves, even though you might not have known Ahmaud Arbery or Breonna Taylor or Rayshard Brooks yourself, you're seeing it as if it was your best friend, as if it was your brother, as if it was your uncle or your loved one. And when you think about that, there's that transference and that projection that happens. And we have to deal with that. We have to heal with that. We can't ignore it and sweep it under the rug. And speaking with my therapist, we talked about it. It made me know that I wasn't crazy. Speaking through it allowed me to come up out of that depression and be able to get my power and my confidence back, and to realize that, you know what, there's never nothing I can't do. There's always something that you can do.
Yes.
And that's the beauty and the power of what I gained in therapy and in going through all of these trials during the pandemic and the protests, is we do have power. Even when it seems like we don't, we have power, and we have to take action and utilize that power.
And I'm so glad to hear that you actually sought professional help, because historically, Black, Indigenous, and other peoples of color, therapy is not something that we've gone to, and we've used other things to soothe and cope with our issues, such as me. My way of coping with it, I tried to run away. I wanted to find me a village. That's one of the things that drew me to your story. So could we talk about Freedom Georgia Initiative and how you two got to that point? You moved very quickly between seeing the exaggerated story, figuring out what was really going on, and getting to the place where I'll be joining you all in a couple of weeks, hopefully. So let's talk about FGI.
Sure. So, I mean, when we got started, when me and Renee went down to the open house, one thing I knew for sure as a realtor, that somebody was going to buy this property. It might not have been us, because we didn't have 1.7 million between the two of us, but we knew we wanted to make connections and network and just kind of put our ear to the ground to see what would happen. And when we got there, there was 40, 50 Black realtors, Black investors, and people were kind. The city was charming. Everything about it was just a wonderful experience. So that moment when we went there, I guess like June 14th or so, is when we actually went to visit the open house for what they had for sale. I, as a realtor, was like, hold up. Not only is 1.7 high, but while they had some beautiful pieces in the assemblage, I was like, no, 1.7, you still got to put renovations into it. Still a lot of stuff that got to go on. Let's go see what else is available. And so we did. We looked around. We saw some of the other land that was for sale. And when we stepped foot on this land that's behind me here in my background, on my Zoom virtual background, it felt good. It felt like the ancestors had said, you have arrived.
Yeah.
And we latched onto that, and in that moment we hatched a plan. And Renee said, you know, we can do this by ourselves. And I was like, yeah, we could, but we should definitely look at what it could be, 96.71 acres, if we brought some of the people we love and care about together. And so Renee came up with the idea of, you know, I get 10 people, she get 10 people, and let's get those like-minded individuals that we love and know together and make a presentation. And so that's what we did. I made a PowerPoint presentation. Renee and I sat there and made a Zoom invitation, sent text messages, made phone calls, sent out emails to the people that we thought would be most likely to participate and who had the right skill sets and the right background that we wanted to live in community with. And we had a meeting, and by the time the meeting was over, 10 people had signed up. Some folks thought, you know, hey, I still got to think about it. I got to talk to my spouse, but they came back the next day and said they're in. And a few people had to fall off because they didn't have enough information or they didn't have their money quite ready. And we just went down the line to the next couple of people that we were like, you know what, we got more folks that are like-minded that could do this. So we just kind of went down the line until we ended up with our perfect collective. And it didn't take us long. Once we did our due diligence, all the different steps that you go through in a real estate transaction. But by the time we took our soil samples and priced the cost of what things would be and presented it to our friends and our family, we got the money up together and opened our LLC, put it in a bank account, negotiated with the realtor, and we didn't tell a soul what we were doing until we actually closed on July 24th. And on July 25th, we had our own camp out in celebration with our friends and families on our land. So it was quick because I always say time is of the essence, and we just did everything we had to do. I utilized my expertise. Luckily, Renee, she has a good friend of ours that is a lawyer. She came in and helped us put things together, and we just did what we needed to do as brilliant Black people to make this happen.
So I want to ask you too, I want to talk about that collective because it's something that I've always promoted, but I've always been told that we can't work together. I want to talk about that, but before I do, I just want to ask the two of you how you felt driving from DeKalb County. Which way did you go? Did you come through Macon and go out 57, or did you come down 441 and come through Putnam County and come down that way?
That's how we came. We went, they put them count. We actually went the back way through Conyers and
Okay.
212 to 441. It's
So
beautiful.
it is. You actually came the way where Malachi York had set up his village until lost control of all of that
Eatonville. We saw Eatonville. We haven't made it to the museum yet, but we saw it. We passed by it.
But how did you two feel making that ride down through the sticks?
Like a breath of fresh air for me.
Yeah. We didn't know what was to come because, you know, as the post was going viral, there were so many things that was happening, like, oh, I hope nobody go down there. You know, they lynching people, they doing this, they doing that. But Ashley and I, we just have a sense of everywhere we go, we cover it. So we don't think negative. We speak life into every situation we have. So we was like, this is going to be a dope ride. Like, we're going to have a good time. We're going to turn the music up. We're going to talk. And we just enjoyed ourselves. I think we were just so engulfed in the scenery and just talking about what's to come. We was there before you know it. So it wasn't that long of a drive. I think it's probably about 2.5 hours outside of Atlanta. And again, the drive was so serene and just pretty. Like, it's amazing. I encourage everybody to just take a drive down there. You will not be disappointed. Just hop in your car and just go. And we travel back and forth like so many times. And each time we go a different way, we meet a different person, we see something new, and we still feel the same. Like, it's just an amazing drive.
And it is. It's like nature therapy too, to just ride through all those green trees and seeing the cows and the horses and the farms. Or
did you see the bear crossing signs?
Yeah, right. The deer crossing signs and the folks riding their tractor down the road, right?
Yes. And so that is just wonderful. And there's so much potential for that area because even though it's 2.5 hours from Atlanta, it's less than an hour from Macon, less than an hour from Dublin. There's a lot that you could do to actually make a living that you could carry out in that area. That's one of the other wonderful things about this area. Now, about this collective, because I have a hard time getting some of my folks to come together for a cookout in the yard. How did you manage to get this group of people together and to work effectively together to pull this off?
Well, like in the beginning, Ashley and I, we said, let's bring 10 of our closest friends. Ashley got 10 of her closest friends. I got 10 of mine. And a lot of us didn't know each other, but I think they kind of joined on the strength of, well, I know my friend's not going to put me into something that she don't trust or link me with people that she doesn't trust. So I trust my friend. So I trust what's going on. I trust the process. So I don't want you to think that everybody in the collective knew each other. Some were strangers that was meeting for the first time, but we all had one common goal, is that we wanted to have something for ourselves. And we knew, like Ashley said, we could have got it ourselves, but we wanted to bring in our like-minded individuals and give everybody a chance, because these are things that we all have conversations about, like when we're in a party setting, at church, like wherever we may be, the conversation always comes around to us having our own and building our own. So Ashley and I just having like-minded friends was the easiest part. Like, so I don't want people to think that it's hard to get people together. We really need to break the stigma that we can't work together, because we can. You just have to change your thinking and be open up to stepping outside of the box and doing things that you've never done before, or meeting with people that you've never met before, and just networking, because you never know what can come of it.
So did the two of you put together something to maybe share to help guide people in creating these collectives or these co-ops, or are you two doing any kind of workshops or anything?
I'm so happy you mentioned that. Ashley put together a wonderful presentation that we presented to our collective. And so many people has asked us, like, what did you guys do? We want to do this in another town. Like, we really want to learn. Can you be our mentor? So Ashley and I are having a seminar tomorrow. It's a 3-hour seminar. We'll be giving the details on literally everything we did from start to finish.
So hopefully you all will do another one in the future, and I'm going to be in contact with you, so we'll be able to share it and get that out there for the next one, and people can take advantage of it. Now, because I hadn't planned on holding you for too long, and I know you all are so deservingly popular right now, I want to talk about, let me not mess this up, Black Campout. Did I say it?
Big Campout.
Black Campout. So could you all tell us about this and the purpose of this campout, please? I'm a country boy. I've camped out before, but I'm still kind of nervous about it.
See, and that's the point of the campout. Come on. All us Black folks have been needing to get outside and outdoors for months now in the midst of this pandemic. In the midst of these protests, one of the things that I realize is that there's an entire camping community, and we have got to look at the fact that there aren't very many images of Black people having good times outdoors. You don't see Black hunters. You don't see Black folks on jet skis too often. Even though we're doing it, we're out here, we're fishing, we're hunting, we're swimming and doing sports. We're doing all of that stuff. But that's not the perception that the mainstream media ever gives. And we don't usually share it much either when we do, because most of us Black folks is private people. But what we wanted to do was diversify outdoors and invite folks to come on out, bring your Black families out to have this experience. As a first-time camper, you know you're not going camping by yourself. So come on and get out here with the rest of the first-time campers and the seasoned campers, because there's a whole contingent of people who are seasoned Black campers. If you just go check out the hashtag Black Girls Camp 2, Black camping while Black, you'll see that there's a whole community. Shout out to the melanated camp out urban camp weekend. We've been camping. We just want to invite everyone to our land this time, our private Black-owned land, 96.71 acres for you to safely social distance while fellowshipping with us. And we're going to be having musicians, live performances. Of course, we're going to have a cookout, a DJ. We're going to have workshops. We got some bomb sponsors who've come on board that we are so grateful for. The sponsors include the National African American Gun Association. They're coming out. They're doing weapons trainings. They're holding us down to make sure we're protected during the weekend. We've also got the Black Achievement Fund coming to teach and talk about our Black history and how we can build power through economics and Black economics. We've got Queen Tassie from the Liberated Minds Institute coming to share about homeschooling our Black children as a form of sovereignty. We've got contingents from other states that are coming that are actually building their own Black communities in Alabama and Mississippi, coming to be on a panel so that we can share that this is not something new. This is something that people are doing across the country. So let's reason together. Let's come together and have conversations about how we can build these Black cities, this one, Freedom, Georgia, and Black cities across the country, because that's what it's about. We have to start building a power base and amassing land and building it for ourselves. And we'll be talking about that at the Big Black Campout.
Awesome. So I'm going to get the links to register from Miss Sheats so that I can put it in the credits at the end of this video and in the notes for it. But when we come out there, because we are coming out there, we can bring our fifth wheels.
Yes.
If it's a big boy like me, I need my CPAP, so I'm going to bring a fifth wheel or a camper when I come.
Yeah, bring a generator because it's primitive camping. We don't have electricity. We will have some water tanks so that you can refill your portable showers and that kind of stuff if you need to. But it's primitive camping. And there is spaces for you to bring your campers and your RVs, but beware, you're going to have to go, you know, find another place for, we're working on something for the dumping. We may have something for the dumping of the sewage, but just be prepared that it's primitive camping. So you're going to have to govern yourself accordingly.
Now for the tent people, are they going to have to walk away from the base and dig a latrine, or do you going to have porta potties?
We'll have porta potties.
Okay, cool. So the ladies won't be afraid to come out there. You don't have to use the hole. You'll have porta potties out there.
That's right.
Now, I promised I wasn't going to hold you for too long, but I want to give the rest of the time to you. What else do you want us to know about FGI?
Renee, do you have any last words you want to share, or do you want me to do it and you wrap it up? Because, you know, Renee is a powerhouse speaker, so she can wrap it up for us, bring this thing home. I'm an articulate person when it comes to intellectual ideas, but when it comes to inspiration and motivation, this sister brings the house down. So
yeah, it sounds like we have a preacher and a therapist.
Yeah, right. Come on now. But I would just say that if you too are interested in building your own collectives, because a lot of people have been asking us, like, can they buy an acre of our land? Can they move and build houses on our land? Can they bring their teeny houses? And at the moment, we are saying that that's a no, because when we brought our investors together, we had already decided that the investors would get to build their home sites, and we wanted to conserve the land. We want to build some public access spaces so that the public can come and enjoy our safe haven that we're creating, a teeny home cabin, conference and retreat center. It's going to be a country club there for Black folks to enjoy. So there are things that people can enjoy, but they can't live on our 93.71 acres. What they can do, 96.71 acres, but what they can do, we're coming together to purchase an additional 400 acres with another collective right next to our land if it all goes well.
Yeah,
and
there's a lot of land for sale out there in Wilkinson County. And
it is.
I'm sorry to clip you, but I think we're about to be cut off.
Yeah, we got 9 minutes or so. We'll wrap it up. We're almost done.
All right.
So if you're interested in actually living in Freedom, Georgia, we are now making arrangements to acquire the land and build subdivisions and additional communities so we can get the capacity that we need to actually realize the city of Freedom, Georgia.
Awesome. I want to thank both of you so much for your time. And I want to thank Ms. Sheats for coordinating and getting us together for this quick conversation. I'm going to reach out to her because I want links for everything, including the links where we could rent those campers, because I know you have those as well. And as well as your realtor information, because if someone wants to buy some other property out there in unincorporated Wilkinson County, since you know how to do this with a collective, we definitely need to reach out to you. So thank all three of you for what you've done. I'm recognizing Ms. Sheats too. Thank all three of you. You have a great weekend, and I'm looking forward to spending time with you. And I'm going to get those dates and include them for the Big Black Campout. I'm sorry, I was turning it into a cookout. Look at me. I'm thinking about chicken on the grill. The Big Black Campout.
Yes, sir.
Thank you two so much. Praying for you. Best wishes.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
What's up, family? This is Brother Sharif, and I want to thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Family Meeting. In this particular episode, we interviewed Miss Scott and Miss Walters of the Freedom Georgia Initiative, which is a entity that purchased almost 100 acres of land out here in Wilkinson County, Georgia. If you're interested in getting to know this project more, or actually making a contribution, or participating in the Big Black Campout, make sure you hold on for the credits or look in the notes under this video for more information. And stay tuned for the next episode of the family meeting.